these guys. The Longhorns will try to end the perfect regular season home record for Oklahoma State and win the regular season title in the Big 12. Should be a lot of fun coming up next from Stillwater. Texas has won 8 of 9 since losing the one and only home game to Oklahoma State when missed free throws killed them that night. The Cowboys have won 12 out of 13. They are unbeaten, as I said, at home this year. Should be a lot of fun. For a preview to Ron Franklin and John Sunvold.
So, Chris, number 7, Oklahoma State playing host to number 10, Texas. And quite frankly, the title as far as regular season is on the line. And, John, in preparation today, both shoot-arounds even more serious than for a regular season game, I thought.
Well, no doubt about it. This is what you play for. This crowd will be crazy, and Oklahoma State really has the edge because they're at home. Texas wants to come in here and see if they can do what no one else has done, win in Gallagher-Iba.
Let's take a look at the standings and show you exactly how things are in the Big 12 Conference. Oklahoma State at 12-2, the Longhorns at 12-2. Then comes Kansas, Colorado, and Missouri, both at 9-5. Mouton for the Texas Longhorns. Well, John, to say he has been white hot is a mild exaggeration.
Well, Mouton has had an electric last 5 games, averaging nearly 23 points a game, and can do it as a scorer from anywhere, from outside, from inside. He can attack. He's got long range, and you know what? His minutes are now going up. Rick Barnes has left him in ball games and has allowed him to really keep going. Instead of taking him out so much, he's left him in there, and tonight it'll be a tough chore for the Cowboys to try to slow him down.
One of the things that people don't understand, Lucas gets a lot of credit, but Tony Allen, wow, has just been, I mean, this is a dynamic duo that may be the best in the Big 12, John.
Well, 2 guys that might vie for Player of the Year award, they might split it between them, and a different kind of combination. A lot of times you think point guard, shooting guard. Lucas is a point guard that shoots. Allen is a shooting guard that's a physical player, likes to take it to the basket, likes to be rough and tough, sometimes gets careless with the ball, but really unstoppable. Maybe the best one-on-one player in the Big 12.
Chris, to show you how important this is to the Cowboys, the last time they won an outright championship in either the Big 8 or what is now the Big 12, 1965. Hank Iva was the head coach here. Eddie Sutton, well, he was the head coach at Tulsa Central High School. Should be a really good one. Back to you, Chris.
We hope so, guys. They shared the title in 1991. They don't want to share anything this season, Digger. The Cowboys, though, at home, I mean, they're a good offensive team. They shoot well at home, but they clamp down on defense well.
This is vintage Eddie Sutton when you talk about team defense. He really has this team playing so well after 25 games. They hold teams to 41% field goal defense. They only give up, as you look at it, 63.6 points per game. And the other thing is that they guard the threes well, where he only can shoot 33% against their 3 defense. So they really play and come together when it comes to team defense.
It's a tremendous accomplishment what the Texas seniors have done. This would be an amazing win for them to cap a run. A group of guys that have come together. Royal Ivy from Queens. You got James Thomas, an upstate New York guy. And Ivy has his hands full. We talked plenty about the Oklahoma State backcourt. What about Ivy and Mouton and company?
Well, with no TJ Ford, Royal Ivy has really taken this team to where now they have a lot of confidence, especially on the road. He's averaging almost 10 points a game, but 4 rebounds, makes things happen. And he knows how to give away the assists. If he has one week, he's only shooting 58.7 of the free throw line. But their seniors have just done it all. And this is a solid class. 4 of these guys were really factors in them getting to the Final Four last year, and I think that's still in their mission. And you know and I know, this game, as we look at it, Chris, the Big 12 winner, to me, still has a great chance, especially tonight's winner, to run the table and still get a #1 seed because of the strength of their conference and the strength of what Texas has done all year, as well as Oklahoma State.
A great chance, but they're going to need some losses by some other teams, all right? Who wants the #1 seed? Everybody does. Oh, the downward horn son. Okay, moment number 5 is coming up.
This halftime report is presented by...
Just a couple of minutes, though, a very big game in the Big 12. Oklahoma State went to Texas, beat the Longhorns in Austin. They broke open a tight game in the second half. It was a 10-1 run, and the Longhorns really failed at the free throw line. They're both 12-2 coming in. They're both going to win their final game. It'd be a shock if they didn't. So it all comes down to the 40 minutes of war in Stillwater, which is coming up next.
Well, I just think both of these teams are playing at their peak, and that's the best time to do it. When you look at what makes teams work this time of the year, it's the defense. But I've got to credit, yes, the experience factor of Texas. Those 4 seniors that make things happen for them have been in the Final Four. They want to get back. Royal Ivy's taken this team over and has become that leader. When they lost to Arizona and Duke in the Garden back early in December, and you take a look at how they won against Wake Forest, won against Providence, their only 2 conference losses, really, when looking at that road loss at Iowa State and, of course, losing at home to Oklahoma State, this is a payback game tonight for these kids. And the seniors, to me, show up and play. This is where the maturity is going to show up. I think it's going to be as good as any game we're going to see in the NCAA tournament, as good as a Final 8 game, and these teams will really go at it. I'll be shocked if one blows the other one out tonight as far as a runaway game.
If there's a team in that league that can beat Oklahoma State and Stillwater, I agree it's Texas because of the experience. But we didn't even talk about a freshman. P.J. Tucker's the guy who was a non-factor in the first game for the Longhorns. 14 minutes, didn't do much. He's been coming on strong lately. Keep an eye on Tucker tonight. You can see the buildup at Gallagher-Iba Arena. Different shades of orange. Bright orange versus burnt orange. When you come back, the battle for the Big 12 regular season championship. Enjoy it.
ESPN College Basketball, celebrating our 25th season.
It's a Big 12 classic tonight from a sold-out Gallagher-Iba Arena. And it's available on ESPN High Definition, presented by Phillips and Best Buy. No one has been hotter lately than Brandon Mouton, and fellow senior Royal Ivy has been the glue that has held the Longhorns together. The Cowboys sport one of the nation's premier backcourts. John Lucas's game has exploded in a new environment, and lightning fast Tony Allen, 16 points per game, paces the squad. It's all a part of Big Monday, presented by Bud Light. Tonight, number 10, Texas, comes calling against number 7, Oklahoma State, with the Big 12 Conference Championship hanging in the balance. Take a look at the standings in the conference, and you understand why this one is so huge tonight. Both teams at 12-2. Kansas in 3rd place at 10-4. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin, along with John Sunvold. And Johnny, you can use all the cliches in the world. This is what it's all about and all. But these kids today have shown the seriousness, knowing what is on the table. They're playing for Big 12 regular season tonight.
And it's not easy to win. And I tell you what, Stillwater has been exciting all day around. We came to shoot-arounds. Players are excited, a little tense, a little nervous, but ready to play. Should be a great one.
And our Star Watch tonight, 2 young men that deserve a few more accolades. Brandon Mouton, the last 5 games, averaging almost 23 a ball game, field goal percentage over 50%. And how about Tony Allen?
Consistent all season long. He's an outstanding one-on-one player, maybe the best in the Big 12. And Ron, I would say this, the winner of this ball game, whatever team's going to win the league, and you know what, one of these 2 players might be the MVP in the Big 12.
Well, the last meeting between these 2, 5-point victory down in Austin, which is a very difficult place to win, just as Gallagher-Iba is. And look at the difference in rebounding. John, something we'll keep a close eye on in this ball game tonight.
And the Cowboys must rebound like they did in Austin, and they must stay out of foul trouble because of the depth of Texas. And for Oklahoma State or for Texas, you know what, Ron, Texas has to take care of the basketball. The Cowboys can turn steals into easy baskets here and easy baskets into big leads in Gallagher-Iba.
Well, Graham gets the tap, and here comes Lucas. We'll see the Cowboys on offense first.
And Longhorns 2-3 zone, and Rick Barnes mentioned that he might surprise Eddie Sutton, play a little more zone tonight.
Bouncer inside. Graham back in the corner.
Bobbick's got to hit shots. The last 2 ball games, he is 0 for 12. He's got to be confident.
There's an opener for you, and look at him. Hugely emotional because he's been wanting to get that monkey off his back as well.
Did not make a shot against Missouri. Did not make a shot against Baylor.
Tucker, double team on him. Back out to Ivy. Royale for 3. In and out, couldn't get it to stay. Graham got the rebound. And what the Cowboys are looking for, John, they talked about it openly. They want a fast start to keep this crowd in the ball game. Well, the starting lineups, Tucker, Thomas, and Mouton. Paulino and Royal Ivy in the backcourt. We'll check the starters for the Cowboys in just a moment.
Well, Ron, you mentioned quick start. This building just explodes when the Cowboys play well.
And a quick 5-0 run here by the Cowboys. At the other end, wouldn't go. Tucker knocks it away. Thomas battles for it, gets it back to Tucker, and gets the easy putback.
Players must understand early this is a big game, a great officiating crew. They're not going to call little bumps inside.
Thought that Tucker put a shoulder down on that one. Tony Allen falling away too hard off the back iron, and it's Ivy with the rebound. He'll push it on that left wing all the way to the hoop. Couldn't get it to go. John, last Saturday at home against Texas Tech, I'll bet you Texas missed a dozen of those, either layups or easy putback.
And early on, you can see it. Texas not afraid to run. They lead the league in scoring at just over 80 points. The Cowboys second at just below 80 at 79.8.
Tucker.
You look on the floor and you look at Ivy, Mouton, Thomas, three seniors that have been through a lot of big games. If you had to pick any team in the league that possibly could come in here and knock off the Cowboys, it's this Longhorn squad.
Sean Sutton up very quickly to holler out, hey, switch defensively, which they did not do when they got caught. And Tucker with the easy hoop at the other end.
Longhorns man-to-man defensively must stay on Lucas. Great pass inside.
McFarland gets the easy one. Thomas left alone, and he'll shoot the jumper. Nobody contested him. They'll give James that shot, it appears, all night long.
Even if he makes one or two, they'll continue to give it to him. Thomas needs to work in the low post. Great matchup right there, Mouton and Allen.
Boy, two super athletes. You're exactly right. And Paulino looking in the eyes of John Lucas. Here's Allen again. This time picked up by Ivy. And Strong to the hoop, and he'll score it.
You mentioned Strong, one of the strongest in the league when he has the ball. Uses his body to get away from defenders.
9-4 lead for the Cowboys. They stretch it out again. 4 of 5 for Oklahoma State to open this ball game. Mouton throws it right into the arms of Allen, and the turnover by the Longhorns right in the middle. Graham, and he'll score it.
Nice push, nice pass. Better finish.
11-4. Paulino blows by that group of defenders on the right side. Back to Ivy for three, and that will silence this capacity house at Stillwater.
One thing about this Longhorn team, Ron, they will not rattle. They are calm guys. They've been through this many times before. A chance, though, to win a league championship really means a lot in this community. You got to go back all the way to 1965 when they won one outright.
Left-hander off the mark. Great hustle inside, and the tip. Nope, they're going to call a foul, an offensive foul. So the starters for Oklahoma State in the ball game, as you see Coach Sutton questioning the call. Graham, McFarland, Lucas, Bobick, and Allen, and a three-guard set.
Not the biggest lineup. McFarland at 6'8", Joey Graham at 6'7", but they're very active jumpers. They're quick off their feet. They're long arms. They rebound well. And they won the rebound battle you mentioned down in Austin.
38-30 in that ball game, and one of the things that the Texas coaches talked openly about is the fact that they have got to get on the boards. First points for Klotz, who probably, if you go back and look at this entire roster, and of the 11 who play, as a three-pointer is on the way and is good by Tony Allen. Klotz probably the most improved of the Longhorns.
Well, his last 12 games, 8 points a game, nearly 6 rebounds. He is probably the best low-post offensive player if they can find him.
Klotz looks for somebody to go with the basketball.
Anytime you're on the road, especially in this kind of environment, Ron, you have to handle the first 5 minutes. There's a lot of emotion in the building, and that'll slowly die down if Texas can play well.
I tell you, the quick leap by Tucker has gotten him off to a very good 6-point start.
Now, Tucker's only 6'5". He's got a 7 feet 1 foot 1 inch wingspan.
Isn't that unbelievable?
He can play inside with the biggest of players.
Allen, offensive foul is called against him. So let's take a timeout. Let everybody catch their breath here as the Cowboys off to a strong start. They lead by
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, presented by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. And in part by New York Life, the company you keep.
So welcome back to Stillwater, Oklahoma. John, wow. what a start. You can give all the hype in the world to a ball game, and a lot of times you don't live up. It doesn't live up to its expectations, but this one here, some kind of start by both clubs.
Ron, a lot of teams in college basketball don't score the ball very well, and you've got two teams here that are high octane. They've got a lot of players on the floor that can score. They share the ball well. They're good defensively. You take a look at Texas field goals. They are off to a good start. After the initial few possessions, they're getting a lot of things by the rim.
One of their first 4 and now 4 of their last 5 to get back to within 3 points. But in this building, you better stay close because this crowd is absolutely a tremendous help. Crawford in the ball game, dumps it off to Allen along the baseline, couldn't get it to go. Hit by Tucker, then Crawford in the follow. He couldn't get it, and a whistle and a foul, and it would be a foul against Terrence Crawford.
Out of the timeout, Longhorns went back to a 2-3 zone. Allen likes to get inside against the zone, sometimes a little too careless with the ball. Klotz knocked it away.
Well, it's the first foul on him and the second team foul. Tucker looking for the cutter inside. There was none. Mouton gets it inside. Klotz off the mark with the shot. And the ball was blocked.
Big size advantage for Klotz, but a quick double team from Crawford. Didn't allow him to turn his body, get over the top.
McFarland finds Weatherspoon open inside. He loses the ball on the floor and on the floor again. And as they battle for it, possession arrow says it'll go back to Texas. Rick Barnes, 6th season at Texas. You see his numbers, 33 and 13 in Big 12 road games. And John, it's one of the things that I've always said was a true mark of a really good coach, and that is how well you can do on the road, and particularly in conference. And both of these head coaches have been stellar with their teams on the road.
Andy Sutton, a Hall of Famer, no doubt about where he'll end up. And one of the great ones. And Rick Barnes, I think he's building one of the top elite programs in college basketball down in Austin.
Paulino, Taylor in the ball game, number 10, the transfer from Baylor. Klotz, they leave him alone, and he'll swish that one right there if you allow him to square his shoulders and shoot the jumper. 4 points for him.
Patience, but you saw the quickness of this Cowboy team on the defensive end. They want to cause some problems, cause havoc, get steals.
Weatherspoon back over to Lucas. They try to get in his face because, John, you give him that extra second, and that ball was blocked. I believe Taylor got a piece of it, and they got numbers, and he threw it too far. Can Taylor save it? Yep, gets it back to Tucker, and the high arcer won't go.
I was about to say Lucas has not had a shot attempt. The first one is blocked by his former teammate, Kenny Taylor, when they were at Baylor.
Klotz has just been called for a foul on Terrence Crawford, who stopped in front of him.
We mentioned him on the offensive end about his inside play. You saw that he could face up, take the easy shot. Texas will continue to rotate. They've got 11 players that play over 14 minutes, and they can all score, all productive when they get in the game.
Boddicker checks into the ball game. Jason Miller comes in for Oklahoma State. A pair of 33s into the lineup. Weatherspoon going to have to call a timeout. Afraid he was about to get a 5-second call. And very quickly, Tony Allen is over to talk with him as we celebrate our 25 seasons of college basketball. It's time to flash back into the ESPN archives. Am I imagining things, or does Gottlieb have his shorts on backwards?
I think he's got them on backwards, and the crowd has noticed it, Ron.
Oh, he changed in the huddle. There.
And the young man has a big smile on his face.
Well, you know, see, that's what I've always thought about hats on backwards. It's about as ridiculous as wearing your shorts backwards.
Well, Doug made the change. They huddled around. We remember that well. And now doing some work for ESPN, Mr. Gottlieb, on radio and TV.
Eddie Sutton, 14 seasons here at Oklahoma State. You see his numbers overall, 316 wins.
His first year here back in '91, they shared a Big 8 championship.
The lob stolen by Klotz.
That ball, I think Moreno tipped that. Weatherspoon thought he had an easy look for a pass.
Moreno pushes it up the middle, but Allen looks over and realizes he's about to have an open lane, closed it off. the jumper, Mouton.
And Mouton had a smolder Witherspoon on him and took him right to the low block. Brandon Mouton outstanding from the outside, mid-range, and in the low post area.
So Texas takes its first lead of the night, 15-14 at the 12:33 mark. And the point that the coaches were making, John, it is literally silent in this building, where 2 minutes ago you could not hear yourself think.
Again, there's a lot of emotion early anytime you go on the road, and Texas has been around the block a few times with their senior leadership, and there's one of them, Brandon Mouton. Simple low block move. Tony Allen a little late getting there. All Mouton has to do is use his taller body, little fadeaway jump shot. He has been some kind of player, not only in his career, but the last 5 ball games, averaging nearly 23 a game, 53% from the field, 45 beyond the three-point line, and he has won many ball games just by shooting the basketball.
You know,
Rick Barnes.
in talking with him, he said, I'm finally healthy. I don't have all of my body aching, and particularly an ankle that has been nagging him, and I think that is going to be something that's going to stay with him probably for the remainder of the season. The bouncer, nice look. Crawford hit the bottom of the backboard.
Ron, Cowboys are a little sloppy on their offensive end. I mean, they are not strong taking it to the rim, and that will cost them against a Texas team.
Well, this is the same thing that cost Texas when they lost at home. Boddicker for 3. Very short, hits hard off the front iron. Here comes Lucas. But Texas back in transition. Miller, a transfer from the University of North Texas.
Longhorns have pushed him out a little bit. Moreno needs to stay with Lucas.
Three-pointer. Had to wait and see.
Tony Allen doesn't shoot a lot of them. Only a 27% shooter beyond the three-point line. But off to a great start. He's got 2 already. Now, Taylor won't take him long to heat up.
Tell you, it didn't take long for John Lucas and Taylor to find each other when they came out to warm up tonight. A big hug, 2 former Baylor teammates. And, of course, Roberts, who's at Mississippi State with them, as that ball is tipped and knocked away.
Boddicker will pick up the foul for a hold.
So let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk not only basketball, but putting on the pads. That's next, coming out of Stillwater. Texas on top by 1. Let's go back to the first week in December. Sean Sutton, of course, the son of the head coach, and the assistant coach told the guys after they got pummeled 44-18 on the boards by BYU on the road, and they lost the game, said, go check out helmets and pads, football pads, and we're going to get physical in our workouts and show you how it's going to have to be. Well, John, obviously it was a pretty good formula for success.
Well, there's a lot of things coaches try to toughen up their ball club. Not quite seen that one before.
I'm not sure guys the size of John Lucas enjoyed that, though.
That's the time you go, gosh, my ankle hurts a little bit, coach.
Bobby tries to get by Taylor, almost turned it over, and it was touched last by Texas, by Moreno.
John Lucas, who has been on a scoring tear, only 1 shot, but he's got 5 assists, and we'll see if he can stay within the game and not try to force things. He's playing well.
5 assists on the 7 field goals for the Cowboys.
A lot of times scorers get kind of an itchy trigger finger. They want the ball to shoot it. He's handled it well so far. Get it to the guys that are open.
Sid Mill-Harris in the ball game, tried to get the steal. Klotz with a hand right in the face, and he still scored right over him. Allen showing why I think he should be one of the candidates for Player of the Year in the Big 12 Conference.
I don't doubt. I think he probably, if Oklahoma State can win this league, he has my vote. That's for sure.
Taylor quickly for 3. Couldn't get it, and the foul is going to be on Bobbitt.
Well, ball movement, and when you get it to Tony Allen, we mentioned his ability one-on-one to just take guys, and the reason he is, he's so patient with the ball. Doesn't get in a hurry. He's strong enough. He can go into guys. He can jump over the top of people. Knows how to deliver.
Taylor up the high screen just inside the arc, and that one is short. Klotz almost knocks it away, and he will be called for the foul. Ron Franklin, John Sunvole coming to you from a live house in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Gallagher-Iba Arena. Filled to capacity. Kids have been outside. I asked some kids today, John, as we were coming in for the shoot-arounds at our production meeting, how long have you been out here? One kid said, forever. And I'm ready for this game to start. I said, I'm sure the kids, the players, are exactly the same way. So Klotz has to go to the bench. Team foul number 3 of the Longhorns. Oklahoma State guilty of 4 first-half fouls. Bobby Knight said on Saturday he went straight to Klotz after the ball game and shook his hand and said he's my kind of player. He is a tough kid who has worked really, really hard. My kind of kid. I would love to have signed somebody like that. After the game, Jason Klotz said, I am flattered by those kind words from Coach Knight. However, I'm not about to move to Lubbock.
They're not going to let him out of Austin. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
He has really improved as an offensive player.
Allen has Oklahoma State's last 8 rebounds. So it's not just scoring that he does. He gets it done as far as just working hard. Graham over Tucker. Not there. And Allen thought he had it taken away by Mouton. Oklahoma State, good job in transition. It's the ball knocked away from Moreno. Mouton right there.
And when Moreno's in the lineup, he likes to push, likes to penetrate, find open teammates. Cowboys have really built their season on the defensive end, and I think they felt collectively as a team the last couple of games, the loss at Missouri and the win in Wake over Baylor, they weren't sharp enough on that defensive side.
Tucker, pass out to Ivy. Lucas trying to bother him. Shot clock is at 4. Moreno on the floor. The left-hander will switch it.
And Tony Allen defensively kind of bailed out. He bought a little bit of a fake, and it didn't follow through. Good hoop by Moreno.
Bobbitt, who handles now with the alley-oop, and Graham couldn't get it in time on the follow. Not there, and it's tipped back out by Miller.
Good hands.
Bobbitt is the one who told me today, he said, I don't think we played with the same kind of defensive intensity since the Nebraska game. He said, I know I haven't played well.
The Cowboys will need his intensity on the offensive end. They need him to hit shots.
Bobbitt already has one, is off the mark on that one. I think it's Moreno and his newness that they really want to put pressure on. It was obvious on that last possession, John.
Yep. Moreno handles it well, though.
Miller out top on Mouton. Well, Texas taking a long time in the half court. But if they score every time with 3 seconds on the shot clock, Rick Barnes will say continue. 3-pointer. And that was blocked.
Tony Allen.
Tony Allen got a hand on it. So 8 rebounds and now a block. And Bobbitt on the follow. And Buckman will be called for the foul. Well, Saturday, ESPN celebrates one of college basketball's greatest rivalries with a whole day of events from Cameron Indoor at noon and also at 8 o'clock. It will be College Game Night presented by Wachovia Securities live from the famed arena. At 9 o'clock, it is the Blue Devils taking on North Carolina. This game available in high definition.
Blue Devils won the first meeting at Carolina. That is a great rivalry, but dominated by Duke. Not the last 5, 6, 7 years.
John, you talked about a veteran crew and the fact that they're going to let them play within reason. This is the first time anybody's been to the free throw line, and it's at the 8-12 mark.
And players like that. They understand this type, the magnitude of the game, the feel of the game. Big bodies know inside it. They know what they can and can't do. They can lean on each other a little bit. A hard foul will be called.
Here's Moreno. But Bobbitt knocked the ball away from Mouton. It'll stay with Texas. 23 on the shot clock. So there's a timeout. 7:59 left in the opening half. A 1-point Cowboy lead. Oklahoma State, 7:59 left until halftime, leading by 1. And you know, with 5 times the resolution, basketball in high definition is like nothing you've seen before. ESPN HD is so real, it sometimes is better than being at the game, just like the fans right here at Gallagher-Iba Arena. And if you haven't experienced high definition television, go to your local Best Buy and check out a Philips HD television. And John, I know from spending every Saturday night in front of a huge monitor by Philips that it is just like being there, just like these students here at Gallagher-Iba Arena.
They'd rather watch it on a tube, my friend. Ron, we talked one of the keys early was Texas not to turn the ball over and get quality shots. They're shooting 50% from the field and only 1 turnover.
Quite a collision inside. Weatherspoon back in the ball game. He will miss the trip to the hoop, and let's see who they're going to call it on.
Cowboys have not had many opportunities to get the ball off the board and push it or get a steal. One of the first there by Weatherspoon.
Royale Ivy picks up the foul. It's his second and the 16th foul on the Longhorns. Oklahoma State with only 3.
Weatherspoon, a solid contributor for Eddie Sutton. You see the 14 minutes, 5 points. Really does it on the defensive end. He's got quick hands, quick feet, can cause problems for offensive players.
So wholesale changes by Texas. Boddicker is back in. Thomas. It'll be Mouton, Paulino, and Kenny Taylor will stay out for the Longhorns. And about to check back into the lineup is Allen for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Tony Allen checks back in, 6'4", 205. Had 24 points against Missouri. And boy, he has got some springs in his legs. 10 points you see so far tonight, but he also was a block. And I believe we got a report, 8 rebounds.
Weatherspoon will now handle the point, guard Paulino. Watch how quick Weatherspoon is. Paulino's got to be careful of the basketball.
And Weatherspoon will be called for the foul.
Allen and Mouton. Great matchup. Keep an eye on it.
Mouton strong to the hoop. That ball is blocked, and an offensive foul is called on Mouton. First one on him.
And watch when Mouton turns the corner. And this is why he's a good scorer. He is aggressive and attacks, but that's great weak side help defense. I believe it was Joey Graham.
Yep, and he got there and he was set. Bobbick. Now Weatherspoon, under 7 minutes left in this opening half. Shot clock is about to go under 10. Weatherspoon. Got it.
Good patience. Good move by Bobbick to draw the defender.
Well, Texas led by 1 just a moment ago. Cut to now it's a 5. It's making a 3-point ball game.
Don't hold your breath, partner. They come in a hurry. A lot of teams go on the road and want to control tempo. Texas does it by picking up the speed.
McFarland dumps it off to Weatherspoon right there in that same spot, and he couldn't get that one, but nobody blocked out Allen, and he hit it underneath the backboard.
Active, mobile bodies allow Oklahoma State to attack from a number of angles, and you must block them out. Look how aggressive they are. First, it's Allen, and then over the top, McFarland is always around the rim.
15-8 in rebounds, and they throw it away. Kenny Taylor against Weatherspoon will finger roll it. The ball is knocked back up, and it is going to be goaltending.
I don't know how that can be. That ball, it came back over the rim. I mean, he missed the layup. Kenny Taylor took off too far, and he flipped it, Ron, and it hit the backboard. Now I think it comes. Well, maybe it did. I thought it was already past the rim.
When he tipped it, was he making contact with the rim? Is what I guess my question, John.
Now they thought it was a bad play, to be honest. He took off when there was no chance to block.
So Taylor gets credit for the basket.
Nice pass.
Inside, and that ball is blocked by James Thomas.
Taylor's so good with the ball and such a great outside shooter. Got to stay with him.
Well, little fake.
Everybody only thinks he's a shooter and a spot-up shooter, but he's very good with a basketball. He could play point guard if they needed him to.
Well, he proved right there that he could create. Put the ball on the floor, little ball fake, and then went up and knocked down the jumper. Texas back on top by 1. Bobbitt for 3. Got it, his second of the opening half. And that's big for the Cowboys.
He's shooting well, gives him another offensive weapon.
8 points for Bobbitt here in the first half. Taylor for 3. That's an air ball. And here comes Bobbitt.
He's good with the ball.
The bouncer stolen. Paulino right up the middle, gets it off to Mouton, and he has to take it straight up, and they're going to call a foul on Mouton. That is huge.
And they wipe off the basket, which is surprising. Rick Barnes not happy. Good steal defensively. A little lazy of a pass.
Paulino got him in trouble. You're exactly right.
Tough call right there.
Well, as you see, the ball is released before contact. So that should be basket. If they're going to call the offensive foul, the basket should have counted.
What's Mouton? Is that his first or second?
It's his second.
He will have a seat, and the good thing for the Longhorns, they can put someone in that can score the points. Sid Mill-Harris now comes in. Another score off the bench.
John, I got a tough time to this end between a camera and, for some reason, the official. I'm totally blocked off to the left.
It's the building, man.
I'm telling you,
it's not very big.
Well, Wednesday, ESPN has college basketball and NBA action back-to-back, creating a great night for the fans. First of all, for the colleges, for the ACC, number 22, Georgia Tech takes on number 3, Duke. And then at 9 o'clock, Yao Ming and the Houston Rockets play host to Shaq and the Los Angeles Lakers. The game available on high definition.
The Rockets and the Lakers, my friend. Now, let me ask you this, Ron. Gary Payton knew going in to L.A. They ran a triangle offense, right? And they knew they've got a couple stars, Kobe and Shaq. Gary Payton not happy now because he doesn't like the triangle offense and not get enough time and maybe not enough pub. Sometimes you got to think about that when you go there, but he's trying to win a championship. What's more important?
I'll tell you what, Rick Barnes is all the way out on the floor. He is still on Tom O'Neal on that call on Mouton down at the right side.
And I think he would like a technical. When you do that, you kind of want one and get things going. Riled up in here. Rick Barnes, Barnesy doesn't back away from anything, does he?
No, he doesn't.
We asked him today, you know, about the importance of the game and winning the league. He said, you know, it's a big game, but both teams are going to be in bigger games down the road.
That's going to be a foul on Tony Allen.
Actually on Tucker.
He called it on Tucker. It is his second.
Here's Mouton. Now the ball's gone, so it ought to count. You can call charge, call block, or call nothing, but bucket should have been good. But the frustration for Rick Barnes is his star players on the sideline. You see the team fouls. Texas already at 10.
That's the first miss by Oklahoma State tonight. They're now 6 of 7. Texas has yet to go to the free throw line.
The big difference in the ball game down in Austin was at the foul line.
Sure
Texas
was.
struggled. They only made 10 out of the 20. And Oklahoma State shot the ball well, 16 of 22.
So Oklahoma State with the double bonus situation for the remainder of the half. Texas having committed their 10th foul.
Boddicker now has to be more effective and useful in the offensive end for this Texas squad.
So let's take a timeout. 3:55 left until halftime. It is a 5-point Cowboy lead.
Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps, the Bank One report at halftime. Emeka Okafor makes a strong Player of the Year statement. Your votes for the big man on campus this week. And who wants those #1 seeds for the NCAA tournament, Digger? A lot of scenarios.
A lot of scenarios with the Big 12, the Big East, as well as the SEC. And what about Gonzaga? Could they sneak in?
Ooh. All right, you're going to hand out 3, and it's the battle for the last one. We'll talk about that debate when we come up at halftime. Ron, John, back to you guys.
Okay, Chris, thanks so much. We look forward to hearing from you and Digger.
Well, one of the keys early in this game was that Daniel Babic shoot the ball well, because he was 0 for 6 shooting against Missouri in that loss. 0 of 3 down in Waco. Has not shot it with confidence, but tonight a different night, and he has stepped up and knocked in some big ones. He has 8 early points.
And John, it's not surprising. A transfer from BYU, a little bit older, married, has a family. I think he brings a quiet assuredness to this basketball team.
Well, this is a mature ball club, and he's another ingredient that has settled this ball club down and handled things when they're in trouble on the court. Good ball handler, good shooter, solid defender.
Texas cuts it back to 3. Inside, that ball is blocked by James Thomas. Comes back out to Lucas, and they get a fresh 35. Texas done a good job on Lucas in the first half. He's 0 of 2, but he has 5 assists.
Ball didn't hit the rim, and I'm not sure anybody had possession. Didn't change possession.
Jimmy Burr with the call, and it looks as though a very astute call here. They should take it rather than a new 35. Should go back to where it was, so they'll have to go to the play-by-play. And
good,
it is at 23 seconds.
Good weak side help by Thomas, Big James, to make the block again. Cowboy fans would love for John Lucas, who has really been on a roll in Big 12 play. But he has not had many open looks. 0 of 2, 1 was blocked.
Just like Boddicker. OSU's done a great job on him. And Allen not there, and the ball tipped away, and it's going to be saved by Tucker. And Boddicker is 0 for 1 from the field and has not had any looks.
Well, he has not really been involved in the offensive end. He's kind of put himself outside, which we know he likes to play, but he hasn't set any screens. He hasn't picked and rolled and done some things we've seen in the past. He's got to get himself more involved in the offensive end.
Mouton on the bench with the 2 fouls. That's the reason Sid Mill-Harris is seeing more playing time here in this first half. And Kenny Taylor prepares to check back in for the Longhorns as well.
Well, Rick Barnes really has been a magician for the way he moves bodies in and out. 11 guys over 14 minutes a game. If you're playing well, you stay in, and all players understand that. He finds certain guys on a hot streak on certain nights and rides them. And it looks like Kenny Taylor is one of those guys who's going to stay with this first half.
7 seconds on the shot clock. I don't know if Paulino sees it. They get it inside to Thomas, and he was fouled. Terrence Crawford called for the foul. Sunday, ESPN celebrates one of college basketball's greatest rivalry, Duke and North Carolina, at noon, and also 8 o'clock, College Game Night, presented by Wachovia Securities, will be live from the famed arena. North Carolina and Duke in high definition on Saturday.
Kenny Taylor once again.
Taylor with 9 points.
Cowboys have a harder time in the half-court offense, Ron, of getting good shots against an aggressive, attacking Texas defensive team.
Graham lost it in the middle, picked it back up, and banked it off the glass.
Has had some good games this season against Texas in the first meeting. 21 points, 10 rebounds, and against Nebraska, 36 in this building.
Graham, 4 points in the first half. There's James Thomas in and out, unlucky on a shot. Boddicker battled for it and taken away by Graham. Lucas strong to the hoop, back out on the wing, and he threw it away.
Tough for a shooter to move against the grain as fast as a point guard's coming to you. Lucas assumed that Allen would slide to the corner. The 6th turnover by the Cowboys. Allen not really a catch and shoot type player, so sometimes doesn't understand what he's looking for. Point guard Lucas went right by him, threw it out of bounds.
James Thomas goes to the bench, and Jason Klotz will come into the lineup for the Longhorns. About to hit 90 seconds left until halftime.
Klotz with a pretty good size advantage over Crawford inside.
Paulino going to take the jumper and drains it.
Tough shot.
4 points for Kenton Paulino. So back to a 1-point ball game. Are we surprised, John?
No, not surprised.
Oh, my. Oklahoma State walked into the Irwin Special Events Center. the last time they played and just said, you know, hey, we're a great road team, and won the ball game.
Yeah, the Temple
Texas down by 1, but they're saying, hey, you know, serve it up. We're a good road team also.
Yeah, Temple, both teams like to get up and down, and if they can score easy baskets, especially the Cowboys. Oklahoma State needs some easy shots.
They way off on the shot there. Weatherspoon on the follow. Can't get it. And Boddicker will come down with the rebound.
Missed opportunity. Weatherspoon got an easy basket. Taken away.
Paulino for 3. And Texas goes back on top by a couple. Paulino now with 7.
And Ivy's been on the sideline, and Mouton's been on the sideline.
But it goes back to the point that you made. You know, Rick Barnes has been able to dial up 5 guys on the floor who would make it happen. And many of these guys right here, the second 5, really.
A lot of weapons on that offensive end.
5 seconds until halftime. 3 on the way, not there, and they battle for it. And on the follow, they score with about 1/10 of a second left.
Rebounding edge to the Cowboys in the first half.
Kenny Taylor with an outstanding first half for the Texas Longhorns, keeping him in it. 9 points for him. We're at halftime with the score, Texas 35 and Oklahoma State 35. Now let's send it to Chris Fowler with the Bank One halftime report. Chris?
Ron and John, thank you very much, guys. Good first half. What we expected, a 35-35 tie. This one was the first time around between these teams was decided by a little spurt in the second half. Same thing likely to happen this time.
You talk about the seniors at Texas, but let's talk about Texas's bench. You got Royal Ivy on the bench with Brandon Mouton. These guys come off and they have no fear. They just play. That's why the depth is important in the second half.
One of the deeper teams in the country. We'll talk more college hoops in just a second. But first,
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball. Brought to you by DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment.
So we're tied at 35 at halftime. But, John, the numbers that jump out at me in rebounding, Oklahoma State has doubled the Longhorns 22-11. And Texas, nothing from the free throw line. The Cowboys 7 of 8. That's been the difference.
Well, one thing if you want to do when you're a road team, you go on the road, you shoot 55% from the field, only 3 turnovers. They're doing what they need to do. Longhorns just have to do a little bit better job of really getting to the free throw line. They haven't shot 0 free throws. In the first half, Kenny Taylor came off the bench. You see 9 points in 11 minutes. He really ignited this Longhorn team. They were kind of stagnant a little bit on the offensive end. Kenny Taylor can shoot it with the best of them. And for Oklahoma State, Tony Allen, we expected big things, and he delivered. 4 of 11 from the field. Got a couple long ones to go. Not normally his game, but he looks like he's on track to have a good one.
Game Track brought to you by Nike. And you take a look at the first half stats. What John is talking about, 55%, but nothing at the free throw line. And Texas is going to have an inside presence to make that come alive, aren't they?
Their defense, yes, they will. Their defense has been solid. Oklahoma State, as a team on the year, shoots 51% from the field, only 38 in the first half.
Cowboys started off 6 of 9. That's in the first 5 minutes. Since then, they are 6 of 23 in the last 15 minutes.
We'll see if John Lucas, who was scoreless in the first half, 0 of 3 from the field. He did have 5 assists. We'll see if he can get on track shooting the ball.
Paulino working against him. Tucker came out for a double.
Nice pass.
And the bounce inside. Great play and the foul. And let's see who it's on, because both guys that went up already have 2 fouls.
Looks like they got Tucker. Watch the bounce pass. Good backdoor cut by Allen. James Thomas was the one that clobbered him. Who did they call it on, Tucker or Thomas?
Well, there's nothing flashing there. It looks as though James Thomas will pick up his first and the team's first. And Oklahoma State continues to profit at the free throw line.
You see the numbers for Tony Allen. Well defended every night out when he gets steps on the floor.
Gets them both at a 2-point margin to open up the second half. Working against Ivy, and that's going to be, was it touched by Oklahoma State? Nope. It was over and back. turnover Texas to start the second half. Texas only had, as we said, 3 first-half turnovers, and they opened the second half on their first possession with the turnover.
And anytime you're a player, you have to understand who you're playing against. And against Oklahoma State, when you put it on the floor and go baseline, you're going to have some weak side help. Understand spacing on the floor is so valuable.
McFarland and Thomas, good muscular matchup there. Falling away is Allen, not there. McFarland steals it and then lost it, throws it back at bounds, and Paulino picks it up.
Recognition. Paulino should have just picked it up. He had a 3-on-2 break. He thought Mouton was going to the basket. He led Mouton. Mouton was flaring out to the corner. Rick Barnes not happy with that turnover.
Well, 2 possessions, 2 turnovers to open the second half. Tough to do it on the road, and especially tough to do it at Gallagher-Iba against this Oklahoma State team. Graham.
Nice, firm bounce pass by McFarland.
I think James Thomas is about to take a seat. Klotz back in. Rick Barnes didn't waste any time hollering at Jason Klotz. Tucker called for travel. 3 possessions, 3 turnovers.
Watch the bounce pass right on the money. And I believe it was Tucker that went around the side.
And it was Tucker, I beg your pardon. It was not James Thomas, who was the one the coach was upset with.
You've got to understand, if you go for a steal and miss, that's an automatic 2 points. You go for it if you can get it.
4-point Cowboy lead, and they have the basketball again. Very inauspicious beginning for the Texas Longhorns to open the second half. Lucas for 3. First points of the night. They say 2. He was on the line.
Paulino has stayed and hugged and stayed closely tight with John Lucas. That time he gave him a little bit of space because he slipped, and Lucas took advantage. Take a look. You couldn't see the feet. He has made some tough shots all along. Look at that. Yep, it's a 3-pointer. That's 3.
Yep, that's 3. You're exactly right.
Has he not made some difficult shots this season?
He had people all over him from both sides that time. And his first points of the night make it a 3-pointer. And the biggest thing in this ball game, all of a sudden, Texas better make sure they maintain contact, because in this building, the way this crowd can get, you can lose contact in a hurry.
First bucket tonight by John Lucas, and there is his father. Great John Lucas, who played All-American tennis player, All-American basketball player, #1 draft pick, great pro,
Out of Maryland.
really a terrific guy.
A Maryland Terp. Mouton off the mark, knocked out of bounds by Texas.
Ron, I'm seeing a lot of one-handed rebound attempts. You won't get it. Klotz had a chance to get 2 hands on it. You've got to have 2 to be able to secure it.
Klotz playing with 2 fouls, Mouton playing with 2 fouls, and Ivy playing with 2 fouls as we open the second half. And we played the first 2 minutes. It has been all Cowboys. Look for the alley-oop. It was not there. Graham against Klotz. Got it.
McFarland, another good pass. Through the lane, through the traffic. Found an open teammate.
9-point lead. 9-0 run. We were tied at halftime. Klotz.
Talk about a good find. James Thomas double-teamed, and Klotz right down the middle and strong enough to finish.
John, I thought he was throwing to Mouton, and Klotz was tall enough to grab it right underneath.
Take a look at the other end. Watch this pass by Ivan McFarland. Double team, throws it hard, good catch. Graham with a strong finish. Joey Graham, very athletic. He's a strong, physical player.
Foul was on Allen. This is the first time that Texas will have gone to the free throw line tonight at the 17-17 mark of the second half, and Klotz makes good on it. Bobbitt gets it back. Allen. Graham, I beg your pardon. Too hard off the back iron. Mouton rebounds. James Thomas wanted the basketball, but they couldn't get it to him in time. There's the bouncer along the baseline, takes it up strong, not there, and the tip comes back to Oklahoma State. Here's Lucas.
And Thomas never got his balance, Ron. When the screen and roll, he never got the ball cleanly enough to go up strong.
Plenty of time in the shot clock.
Good defense, smart play by Lucas. Bring it out, get something set. Plenty of time.
Shot clock is at 10.
Thomas with the hold as McFarland. The crowd wanted Ivan to shoot that shot about the free throw line. Not known for his shooting. Smart play.
2 fouls on Thomas. He's going to go to the bench. Texas 2 team fouls here in the second half.
2-3 zone. Tony Allen hit 2 threes in the first half. Bobbitt hit 2 threes.
McFarland, boy, he is wearing him out with his passing. That is some pretty stuff.
Yeah, 3 assists on 3 possessions, and all 3 to Joey Graham. And really using the bounce pass through traffic.
Klotz, they get the bouncer to him. That shot won't go, and Boddicker has it knocked away. So let's take a timeout. Big 12 of the NCAA when we come back. Oklahoma State 46-38, and the 3 teams, John, you'd have to say that have locks on the NCAA tournament: Oklahoma State, Texas, and Kansas. And the 4 teams that are on the bubble, what do you think about this group?
Well, the 2 teams that are hot are Missouri and Colorado as of late. Texas Tech, Oklahoma have not been hot, but Texas Tech, Missouri has to travel to Lubbock. We'll have that game Wednesday night. Texas Tech has 2 home games this week. Oklahoma has 2 home games. Colorado, Missouri both have a road game and then a home game. Ron, I think it comes down to this. You have to keep winning. And then how valuable will Thursday and Friday's action be in Big 12 play, the tournament play in Dallas?
Well, we're going to be in Lubbock, as you said, 2 days this week, on Wednesday and also on Saturday. Big games for the Red Raiders. Taylor, set play coming out of the timeout.
Wow, what a rebound.
Great job by Tony Allen to go high and bring that one down. And the edge in rebounding continues to grow. 26-13 now.
And Longhorns now must get after it on a defensive end. They've been picked apart this second half, really on the inside.
With that and turnovers on those opening possessions, and Klotz is going to get a foul.
Third personal foul again. Oklahoma State, they're 9 of 10 from the foul line. Texas has only been to the foul line 1 time. Aggressive offensive play by Tony Allen. The shake of the head, and sometimes when I watch Tony Allen on the free throw line, he just gets in such a hurry. He just kind of throws it up there. If he takes his time and strokes it, he normally makes it.
He didn't shift his weight. He did on this one. The transfer of the weight was perfect, and he knocked it down. 47-38. 14 points for Allen.
Remember in the first game in Austin, it was a spurt in the second half that allowed the Cowboys to get ahead and stay ahead.
Well, Allen has just picked up that foul, his 3rd. And just like Mouton, this is the guy that the Cowboys can't lose. Quickly, they're going to have to come with a substitution. Actually, it's going to come in for Graham. And number 42, Terrence Crawford, the senior out of Oklahoma City, comes into the lineup.
Allen's got to be careful. He fouled out of the game against Missouri in the second overtime, which I thought led to their loss. They didn't have him down the stretch.
That's going to be Crawford reaching out.
Eddie Sutton won't be happy with the way his guys are now just reaching and grabbing and not moving their feet. This is the kind of game the officials will let you play. If you move your feet, if you start reaching, grabbing, holding, whistle will blow.
Good point. 15 minutes left in the ball game. Ivy on the run, couldn't get it to go. On the floor, Klotz knocks it away, and on the turnaround, could not get it. McFarland skies for the rebound, and he's fouled.
Ivy with not a good shot attempt But the Longhorns are fortunate to get another look, and Klotz just missed one. Surprising edge. Texas leads this league in rebounding, Ron.
And Boddicker just picked up foul. Well, I'm sorry, we'll double check it here. I thought it was Boddicker who got the foul. Yep, he's got a couple.
They're not guarding McFarland around the free throw line. He is capable of stepping up and knocking that in.
McFarland, ball tipped by Klotz, saved by Bobbick. Three-pointer, not there. Royale Ivy skies for the rebound. And Allen, very fortunate he didn't pick up his fourth right there. Three-pointer by Mouton, not there. And here comes Allen back to the other end. Working against Taylor, score it, and he'll go to the line.
His kind of play. Allen likes to push. Doesn't mind any contact on the way down. Leads the league in steals, but this was off a long rebound. Texas had numbers on the offensive end. Mouton missed an open one. Allen takes it the other way.
Bobbick will come out, and Weatherspoon will check in. And now an 11-point lead. Allen trying to make it 12, and he does. The story from the free throw line tonight is 10 or 11 of 13 for the Cowboys. Texas 1 of 1. That is your ball game right now. That and rebound.
Really need a possession right here.
Klotz with the jump hook.
So good at establishing himself in that low post. Patient when he gets it. Well, Weatherspoon, nowhere to go.
Weatherspoon threw it right into the stomach of Klotz. And it came back out, and the Cowboys came away with the basketball. Allen. Boddicker for three. Little ball fake, and the three, it is not there for him. And Klotz with the basketball gets it back to Taylor.
Jason Klotz, Kenny Taylor have been so valuable for the Longhorns tonight. Scoring, rebounding.
Mouton strong to the hoop. Boddicker for three, and he got that one.
He'll rarely miss two in a row from about the same spot. Two open looks. Outstanding shooter.
So back to a 7-point game as we go under 13 minutes to play, and a timeout called by Oklahoma State. And boy, Eddie Sutton has given Crawford what for. We'll take the timeout with him. 50-43. Cowboys on top. Oklahoma State by 7, and a reminder, upcoming big games on ESPN and ESPN2. BYU and Utah tonight, midnight on ESPN. Number 14, Wisconsin, and 25, Michigan State tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Then St. Bonaventure against number 2, St. Joe's tomorrow, 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Game added to ESPN's schedule because of St. Joe's perfect record, and Santa Fe can close out the season that way.
And Utah, Brigham Young, that could be for a spot in the tournament. Those two teams playing. Air Force clinched at least a share of the Mountain West title with a victory over UNLV over the weekend. Brigham Young's won the last 6, and they beat this Oklahoma State team back in December. Led to the football panic, right?
yeah, exactly. Lucas left alone just long enough, and he rattles one home.
Solid set, solid shot on the offensive end. Got the shot clock down, got a good screen. Lucas probably the best look he's had all night.
Well, he had 5 first-half screens. He's got 5 points in the second half as Mouton knocks down the jumper. And it's only his 4th point of the night. He went to the bench early with 2 quick fouls.
And expect Mouton to kind of keep looking on that offensive end. To be a little more aggressive when he catches.
About to go under 12 minutes to play in the ball game. Bobbick. 11 points for him.
Doesn't need much space. You look on the floor and you think who offensively is going to shoot and score for the Cowboys? Bobbick and Lucas.
Mouton finds a little space, and he'll light it up.
That's the Mouton we've seen the past 2 weeks. We mentioned the last 5 games, averaging about 23 a game. Catch and shoot. If you defend him, he'll put it on the floor, score in a mid-range game, or take it to the rim.
Weatherspoon. Finger roll, got it to go down.
Boy, Rick Barnes not happy there.
Terrence Crawford is down at the far end, and that's a reason for the whistle.
Terrence Crawford has had a lot of injuries in his career at Oklahoma State. Wow.
Yeah, Boddicker threw him down, and it's fortunate he didn't pick up still another foul. And there's a timeout. 57-47, Cowboys by 10. So the Cowboys with a 10-point lead at the 11:22 mark. And now let's take a look at our Nike game track. And John, what do you see right there? There's some glaring things for Texas, for sure.
Obviously, the bench points, another strong point, and it has been all season long for Rick Barnes. Brandon Mouton, only 6 points tonight, and has not had many looks. He had foul trouble early, didn't play as many minutes. The huge rebound margin, and we thought that would be big, and Oklahoma State had to stay even with Texas. They're better than even, and Tony Allen, another terrific outing.
In the first half, Texas made Oklahoma State play far more in the half court, which seems to give the Cowboys trouble. But early turnovers in the second half, and they have not been able to get the Cowboys or put them in that position. As Klotz scores with another jump hook, and he now is in double figures with 11.
I thought the first 5 or 6 possessions for the Longhorns, they weren't quality possessions. They did some things out of character, got them behind. Now they've slowly got to get back in here.
Royal Ivy working against Lucas.
Tony Allen has been out a few minutes. They'll try to get him back in. Eddie Sutton's got to be pleased that his Cowboys could maintain this lead with Allen on the bench.
Graham gets a screen. Lucas, little ball fake, takes it closer to the hoop and knocks down the runner.
That's a tough shot.
You bet it is.
That is a difficult one to make. Made it look easy.
Dishes off to Klotz. And Lucas shaken up in the fray. Bodies were flying in every direction.
Tell you what's impressive is watch Lucas go to the basket. Once he makes this shot, how quickly the Longhorns, they'll get it out of the rim and they'll attack the other way. Difficult hoop for Luke.
So Lucas is going to sit down, get a little breather. Bobick will bring the ball up.
Strong enough player with the ball. Will not be bothered by pressure. And Ivy's a very good one.
Allen takes it inside, reverses and scores.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Back to a 10-point ball game. Taylor back to Klotz. Little give and go, and he knocks it down. And Jason Klotz has proven a point. I'll work if you'll get me the ball. Some other folks are standing around.
What a ball game. 15 points, 2 rebounds. He has answered for his coach. 7 of 10 from the field.
He had 4 points in the first half and 11 in the second half.
Yeah, Mouton on the reach.
Well, ESPN celebrates one of college basketball's great rivalries this weekend at Cameron Indoor Arena. College Game Night presented by Wachovia Securities. We'll be live from Cameron Indoor. And then that night at 9 o'clock, North Carolina taking on Duke. The game can be seen in high definition.
Blue Devils 41-game home winning streak, now the longest after Pitt went down this weekend to Syracuse.
16 fouls on Texas and 3 fouls on Mouton. And an offensive foul.
They're going to get Joey Graham, I think, trying to set a screen.
That's only the first foul on Graham.
Watch the move by Allen. This is what he likes to do. Loves to play around the rim. He's got a wide variety of shots when he gets to the hoop.
Royal Ivy.
And McFarland now has got to do a better job of not allowing Klotz to catch the ball.
There's the double team on him, and he falls away, and he knocks it down.
They must deny instead of allowing him to catch and just simply play, because he is outplaying everyone.
Miller prepares to check in to get a large body in the ball game, and I would imagine to help out on Klotz.
Career high for Jason Klotz.
So it's a 6-point ball game. Klotz has been the guy, and the ball, Bobbick kicked it out of bounds.
Once Klotz has caught the ball, double team a little late, allows him to use his size and his excellent touch inside to be patient and go over the top of McFarland.
John Lucas checks back into the lineup. Crowd is up and getting a little anxious. Klotz with a career high. They go right back to him.
I'd find him again unless he's too tired.
Well, they got Tony Allen on him. Mismatch, but a quicker and quicker jumper.
Yep.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Royal Ivy can't get it. Boddicker skies for the rebound, and he'll reset with a new 35.
Big rebound. Another possession. Another chance to get closer.
Waiting for Kenny Taylor as they set the play on this side, and a reach in, and that's going to be on Miller.
Texas, Ron, is attacking inside, really the same we saw a week ago when Missouri did the same thing to Oklahoma State. Bigger, stronger inside. They put it to the rim. Oklahoma State had a tough time with that. That was one of the big reasons why the loss at Brigham Young. Araujo had 32 points against his Cowboy team.
Well, Miller goes out of the ball game quickly. Crawford checks back in, and Tucker on the shot is fouled. And that is going to be foul number 4 on Tony Allen. Wow. So that comes at the 8:01 mark.
The turn by Tucker right on the wrist. Tony Allen now takes himself out of this ball game at the 8-minute mark, and
this only the second time Texas goes to the free throw line tonight at the 8:01 mark of the second half. Tucker had 2 very big free throws in the second half, or actually in the waning moments of the ball game Saturday against Texas Tech. And the freshman said afterwards, I was hoping they would foul me because I wanted to go to the line.
He's had a terrific season his freshman year. Big ball games early, kind of surprised everybody.
Allen goes out, John. He's got 19 points, and Tucker swishes them both.
Tucker had 27 points, 15 rebounds in his first start late December against George Washington. Has played better as of late, got himself back into the starting lineup.
Bobbick.
And Joey Graham now has to be more of a force on the offensive end with Tony Allen out.
Which he is capable of doing.
You bet.
Royal Ivy working against Lucas, and Ivy will pick up the foul as he banged into him. And for Ivy, that's going to be foul number 3.
John Lucas, 89% free throw shooter. Good ball handler, great shooter, controls the tempo, can use his body when he goes inside. Good second half.
Swishes it. Here's a guy sweating it out that did a great job in this Cowboy uniform. Bryant Big Country Reeves. Talked to him before the ball game, John. I said, John, what are you doing there, Big Country? And he said, well, I'm managing a few cows. I said, is there a tractor big enough to handle you? And he said, yeah, I've got a couple of them. But he comes to a lot of ball games here in Stillwater. Huge fan.
Led the Cowboys to a Final Four in 1995. And I remember when he was a freshman, not many thought he could play. Developed into a very good one. That's an easy call there.
Rick Barnes got to be careful. You're right. That is an easy call as Boddicker with an intentional, what looked like an intentional elbow. Let's take a timeout. 62-57 Cowboys.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, presented by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. And in part by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com.
And case you just joined us, what are we playing for tonight? Well, John, it's going to be at least a share of the Big 12 regular season title, 62-57. As you take a look at the standings, both teams knotted at 12-2, and Kansas at 10-4 in third place. And the foul just a moment ago, we're down to 7 minutes and 28 seconds, still tons of time. But what a huge foul, and almost selfish on the part of Boddicker, because I know Texas is frustrated. They've only been to the free throw line 3 times, but yet you can't be that obvious because it does make it easy on an official.
And that was obvious.
Yeah, I mean, obvious as heck.
Stand there right there. And yeah, you never worry about how many free throws you've taken or where the fouls are. You're 5 points down in possession of the ball. So vital on the road.
Cowboys had moved it out to double figures. Texas cut it back to 4. Now 5-point margin, 62-57. And we're about to go under 7 minutes to play in the ball game.
Good to see Crawford back in the lineup. He didn't get hurt seriously enough. Eddie Sutton trying to get this clock wound down so we can get Tony Allen back in. He's got 4 persons.
10 turnovers against the Cowboys. Boddicker out to Taylor. Taylor working against his old teammate, John Lucas. Both transferring from Baylor. P.J. Tucker back to Boddicker. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ivy going to pull up at the free throw line, and he'll swish it.
Tough shot. Solid defense. But once Ivy turned the corner, made a tough one.
One of the things that it appears the Cowboys have done a good job of scouting on Kenny Taylor. Not as good moving to his left with the left-handed dribble. And they've taken away the right side.
Who's going to step up for the Cowboys to take the big shots? Lucas has all season long.
Shot clock is at 10, and a timeout called by Oklahoma State.
Shot clock winding down, and watch Royale Ivy turn the corner. Nobody helped. Bobbitt late. Royale delivers another big one as he has all season.
Well, on Wednesday, college basketball and also the NBA. First of all, at 7 o'clock, number 22 Georgia Tech takes on number 3 Duke. And then at 9 o'clock, Yao Ming and the Houston Rockets play host to Shaq and the Los Angeles Lakers. That one in high definition. John, the thing that starts to happen, and I'm sure you remember this as a player, is the fact that at this juncture of the ball game, this clock starts to move so quickly. Just a moment ago, I was saying 7.5 minutes. All of a sudden, it's down to 6:06. And you got to cherish every possession and the basketball.
Well, it's really vital. Both sides. Now, Oklahoma State, they've got to find a way to get good shots. Shot clock at 5.
Here's Graham, the turnaround, and puts up, well, he did draw iron. Now, the horn went off, but that's wrong. It should have been reset.
It caught rim. Texas had to rebound anyway.
They had to rebound anyway.
Take a look as the clock, he's got it off, and it's going to catch the front of the rim. Not the bottom part.
Well, Coach Sutton is very upset, but the point is, as John said, Texas came away with the rebound, so really no harm. But the horn did go off, and it shouldn't have. Ivy in the corner. Taylor for 3. Put up an air ball. Just right into the arms of Joey Graham. Not a good possession right there.
And maybe too quick. Maybe didn't get a hold of it. He's a good shooter.
Mouton prepares to check back into the lineup. 3-pointer. Bobbitt puts up an air ball, and Tucker comes down with the rebound.
Well, must be something on this side of the floor, partner. Both air balls came from this sideline.
Ivy with the bouncer inside. Klotz with the jump hook. Unlucky on his shot, and Lucas comes down with the rebound.
He has not missed many. He's now 8 of 12 from the field. Jason Klotz, 17 points. Boy, look at the second half field goal shooting for Oklahoma State. Not surprising.
62-59. We're under 5 minutes to play. Both teams tied with identical conference records. They each have one more game to play. Bobby almost throws it away. Saved by Lucas. Shot clock is at 5. And Lucas gets his man in the air, and he misses on the jumper. And the tip by Oklahoma State brought it back to Taylor. Inside to Tucker. And the quick turnaround jump hook is there. 1-point ball game.
Success at pounding it inside the wingspan of Tucker.
Well,
and Tony Allen getting.
That's what I was about to say. Strength for strength. Mouton about to check in, and Tony Allen for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And it looks as though Klotz called for the foul underneath. That's the 4th on him. 9th team foul on the Longhorns.
McFarland will go to the free throw line. He is 2 of 2 tonight. 65% free throw shooting. Ivan McFarland, 24 points in the win against Baylor. He's had some big afternoon and nights this season.
Knocks that one down. 5th point for him. Klotz will come out, and James Thomas comes into the lineup. And the thing that Rick Barnes has been looking for is more point production inside in the paint. And boy, Klotz has given it to him so far tonight.
And now we'll see if they go to Tucker or if Thomas can get him some hoops.
Misses the second one.
In the paint.
Thomas comes down with the rebound. So, John, we got the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds coming up right now. Mouton, and they got Tony Allen on him.
And Mouton's got to attack if Allen's guarding. Allen has a tendency to reach. Leads the league in steals.
Touch last by Tucker, and it'll go to Oklahoma State. Timeout. 63-61. Cowboys on top. Tucker keeping the Cowboys, or the Longhorns, close. Well, here you see the reset. A 60 apiece, 3 30s for Texas. Already 19 fouls. You don't want it to come down to the end if you're the Cowboys, because the Longhorns have been as good at last-minute creative happenings as anybody in the league. That was against Nebraska. You saw Tucker against Providence. This ball blocked against Missouri, right back out, and the three-pointer by Boddicker. And then this prayer right here by Mouton. And Texas winds up winning over Texas Tech in overtime.
They have had some good luck down the stretch.
And at Iowa State, at Iowa State, the
luck ran out.
The luck ran out there. But the situation here now is a 2-point ball game with 3:34 left in the contest. Both teams with identical conference records at 12-2.
Expect Tony Allen to get a touch on this possession. Back in the lineup, 4 personal fouls.
And Mouton has him, and Mouton playing with 3 fouls. Pulls up in the jumper, not there. Rebounded by Graham.
And got what they wanted. They cleared the side out. Allen elected to take the jump shot. Eddie Sutton kind of barking at him, saying, hey, put it on the floor, take it to the lane.
Clock was reset, so there's plenty of time. 15 seconds right now. This is Graham, pulls up against Thomas, and he gets it. Tough shot.
He's been kind of quiet tonight. Slowly now has 16 points. But
crowd is up and asking for a defensive stop for the Cowboys.
Would you like some noise, partner?
James Thomas fouled on the way to the hoop.
Good set, got over the top. You can see the struggles the Cowboys had when Tony Allen sat out. Thomas, 67% free throw shooting. What a career he has had. The all-time rebound leader, a record that stood for 22 years. LaSalle Thompson, also number 20 on the scoring list.
Longhorns trying to cut it to a 2-point game, and James Thomas does. 65-63 at the 2.5-minute mark. Lucas looking back out on top. There's Allen. Got free.
Well, Allen made a good curl. I thought he'd continue on.
Royale Ivy is called for the foul.
I thought he made a good block. He blocked the pass, and Lucas's feet went underneath him. But I thought I really thought he made a good block on the pass. Lucas has already missed one free throw tonight.
Sports Center coming up immediately following the game. John Anderson and Stuart Scott. Kobe's day in court. Mr. Portis goes to D.C. and Sexton Sports, the media.
Stu Scott, I thought those guys were trying to take his job. I thought that was what the show was all about.
So Royale Ivy picks up his 4th foul, which is huge. Got the block, but the officials thought when Lucas went down, when he slid up underneath him, that it was a foul. So it's a 4-point game, and we're about to go under 2 minutes.
I still think you attack Tony Allen some way. You can get him out of the game, advantage to the Longhorn.
Tucker puts it on the floor, working hard and kisses it off the glass to make it a 2-point game. And Rick Barnes wants a timeout.
Boy, tough basket. Looked like there was not much space or room, and Tucker with the ability to control his body right here. Jump sideways. A little bit of contact, but again, he didn't jump straight into him. He jumped sideways. Good no call. Concentration off the glass. What a game he has had. 14 points. Think of the contributions really from the non-stars. Although Tucker's had an outstanding freshman season, he's got 14. Klotz has 17. 9 points still for Kenny Taylor.
There's still 24 games in the month of March on high-definition television on ESPN. Tomorrow it is the Lakers and Houston. It's Wednesday, I should say. The Lakers and the Rockets. Then on Friday, it's Dallas at San Antonio. Saturday, North Carolina at Duke. And for a full schedule, log on to ESPN.com. Search HD.
HD. A lot of fun, huh?
It is changing the way folks watch athletics.
Little half-court trap set up by Rick Barnes. Got to get it across.
He didn't get it across.
Boy, it was close. I wasn't looking at the clock.
Reverse.
What a shot. What a finish. A smart foul by Crawford, but watch this reverse layup, Joey Graham. Just like teammate Tony Allen did earlier. And not a smart foul by Crawford, and there's the reaction from Eddie Sutton. The foul's about 29, 30, 35 feet from the basket going away.
The thing that Rick Barnes is still questioning is should that replay we looked at, should that have even occurred? Because it appeared they took longer than 10 seconds to get it across as Tucker misses and the ball knocked out of bounds by Oklahoma State.
Take a look at the clock. Did not get it across in 10 seconds.
He did not get it across. The 2 points down at this end should not have been counted. It should be a 2-point ball game. Mouton for 3. Not there. And McFarland battles for the rebound, and it's Klotz on the follow. And he was fouled.
And Eddie Sutton not happy. Maybe he thought McFarland got fouled. McFarland not getting a hold of this basketball. The 3rd opportunity in this possession for Texas. Conversion by Klotz. He's got a chance to put the 20th point for himself on the board.
Klotz did have his hand in his back, too. Two-point game. 1:15 left to play.
Rick Barnes, 2-3 zone. He's standing in it. Lucas is going to hold it.
shot clock is down to 12.
See how they've got to attack.
Lucas trying to command the performance here. Shot clock is at 5.
Boy, it's surprised neither one took the shot when they had it.
Run and jump hook.
What a
He
shot.
got it to go.
What a shot.
Mouton on the outlet pass, and the ball is blocked. It'll stay with Texas.
Did Tony Allen just make a defensive play or what? Watch the roll on this ball. A little bit of cowboy magic.
4-point lead. Tony Allen, and what a chance to take. He's playing with 4 fouls. Well, the standings, which we've shown you all night long, standing at 12-2, both of these teams.
The winner gets at least a share of the title. The Oklahoma State finishes at home against A&M. Texas will travel to Manhattan to play Kansas State on the road. Not an easy finish there for the Longhorns. How about the defensive play by Tony Allen?
I mean, it's the play of the night.
Dead sprint.
It is the play of the night. Ivey with the pass, almost stolen by guess who?
He's everywhere.
He is everywhere. Tony Allen, but he stepped out of bounds, but a good hustle on his part. Mouton for 3, and that's going to be almost an air ball down to McFarland. And as they fight for the ball, Boddicker called for the foul.
Watch the hustle. Tony Allen with the left hand from behind. Mouton thought he had a basket. Great block. Great block. Here's where, Ron, you absolutely, there's a lot of time left. On both sides, you've got to focus in. You can't get too excited if you're ahead. You don't get too down and force up a bad shot if you're behind. Big difference from the free throw line.
McFarland with 5 points tonight.
Three of 5 now from the free throw line. It gets a little harder and tougher in this situation.
65% free throw shooter.
Because they are oh so close. And that's sometimes the hardest time to convert it.
Got the second one. And a 30-second timeout taken by Oklahoma State.
Cowboys know they still need a good defensive stand. A couple of them, they're going to have to make free throws. Longhorns need some baskets. They want to push. You don't have to shoot a 3. Attack the rim. Maybe the defensive play of the year in this league.
Well, it sure made a difference with the 10-second clock not being called on the play previous, and now this what appeared to be a sure hoop, and the block by Allen. Really, that's your ball game so far with 36.3 seconds left, John.
And what hustle. When Mouton caught it, we saw John Lucas. We assumed, obviously, that Mouton was going to get 2 points.
So if you're Rick Barnes,
I still think you attack inside. The last shot by Mouton, I wasn't aware of the shot clock being close. He shot that too quickly.
hopefully this ball game will not come down to a two-point game, because here's the shot clock violation at 25, and he's not across midcourt. And Oklahoma State wound up scoring 2 points off the possession.
Eddie Sutton will now want his defenders to get up and make the ball handler at least zigzag up the floor. Don't give him a straight line. Kenny Taylor in the lineup. John Lucas will match up in the far wing.
Ivy looks up quickly. Mouton inside the three-point line. Couldn't get it. Bobick with the rebound. Gets it off to Lucas. Got a foul. Got a foul. Inside of 20 seconds. And the whistle and the foul on Kenny Taylor with 18.8 seconds left.
Partner, they can feel it in this building. Wow, what a feeling.
Oklahoma State finishes this off. It'll be the first outright league regular season championship that they have won since 1965. Hank Iba was here then. Eddie Sutton was the head coach at Central High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
They will still have to win Saturday, but
of course.
Senior Day Saturday here.
This guarantees them of at least a share.
Yep.
If they pull it off. 74-67, Texas with barely over 18 seconds remaining. Ivy takes it the distance. McFarland with the foul.
On the count of 23, Ivy McFarland is third.